Namaste, welcome everyone. Lovely to see you. Our practice today, we're continuing with Yin at the wall practice. So make sure that you're close to a wall. If you don't have a wall available, the door will do. Just drag your mat over, take your iPad or laptop with you. And if you don't have a wall or a door available, a piece of furniture will do. So your sofa or the end of your bed. And adjust and adapt your practice. That's what home practice is for. We make do with what we have at home, what's available. Some of us may not have a clear wall available. Let's start off in our meditation pose, Sukhasana. Bring your thumb and index together. And you're invited to sit up with your back right up against the wall if you wish, so that the wall supports you. And remember, when you meditate at home, sitting in a chair, in the armchair or against the wall is fine. It enables you to sit in meditation for longer, do whatever you need to bring some physical comfort to yourself. So closing your eyes or gazing down towards the earth. Noticing the breath. And perhaps if you have your back against the wall or furniture, become aware of all the points of your spine that are connected with the wall. Notice where your spine curves, the C shape, the S shape, the points where there's a gap, and the points where there is connection. Softening your shoulders, jaw, cheeks, brow. Soften through your elbows, wrists, fingers. Soften through your pelvis, hips, knees, feet. Our practice today is a practice for support and comfort, so that we are able to completely let go and release, using the wall as a prop. Three more breaths here. And then let's bring your hands together in Namaskar. Opening our practice by chanting Om 3 times, the primordial vibration of the universe. And if you have your back against the wall, notice the places in which you feel the vibration of Om. Inhale fully to prepare. Hands to your eyebrow center. Namaste and welcome, yogis. So welcome everyone. So we've got the wall with us today. So we're going to start off in standing and then we'll come down towards the mat. And the first pose we're going to do is a forward fold. So come up and stand with your sit bones up against the wall so that you can feel your hips, your tailbone and your upper back against the wall, and there'll be a space where your middle back is. Maybe soften through your knees here. As you exhale, we're going to fold forward. So exhaling, begin to press into your lower back so it connects with the wall. Bend into your knees and then release your upper back away from the wall. And you will notice that your sit bones slide up the wall slightly. So dangling here against the wall. So the only place that's really connected with your wall now while you're folded forward is your sit bones. You can allow your arms to hang here, or you can always take hold of opposite elbows. Make sure there's a space between the wall and your heels. Otherwise, you might topple over. And notice the flow of breath, this downward flow of breath along the length of your spine, out through the crown. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Notice how heavy your arms are, your shoulders, your crown. Feel the draining effect. Feel how your spine seems to lengthen, creating more space between each vertebrae. And maintain a soft bend in your knees. Connect with a deep breath, Ujjayi breath. So making sure that you have your sit bones against the wall, soft bend in your knees. Perhaps your arms are hanging down and dangling. Perhaps your hands are holding opposite elbows. Feel a heaviness in the upper body as the weight of your head, the weight of your arms draws your upper body down towards the earth. You feel your tailbone lifting higher against the wall. Three more breaths here. And then as you inhale, release your spine one vertebrae at a time to roll up into standing. And then reconnect with the wall, with the upper back. Perhaps you allow the weight to shift against the wall completely of your body. Standing mountain here against the wall. Now we've been inverse for some time, so allow everything to equalize in your body. Check how you're feeling in your head, allowing the flow of blood and lymph to return back to the usual direction. And again, we're going to turn around and use the wall. This time I'll show you, we're going to face the wall. And as we face the wall, we're going to hinge from the hips and have our hands resting on the wall. So you'll need to step away from the wall so that there's enough space for you to hinge from your hips and have your hands against the wall. So your hands will be against the wall like this. And so you're pushing away the wall with your hands. Maybe you have a soft bend in your knees. Here we're opening up underneath our armpits. We're creating what will look like a shelf with our arms and our back, gazing down towards the earth. And have a bend in your knees. We'll be here for 2 minutes. If after a while you feel as if you've got more space, you can walk your hands higher up the wall, maintaining an even, so that your back is parallel to the earth, but your hands are reaching up even higher. This is a variation of melting heart. So you can have a deep bend in your knees, a soft bend in your knees. You start feeling pins and needles in your arms or shoulders, bring your arms further down and soften. So be at an angle with your hands on the wall that feels sustainable for you. Six more breaths here. Now release your hands and walk closer to the wall. We're going to come into a forward fold, but this time our head and back is against the wall. So walk your feet closer to the wall. And slide your head down so that you feel a connection between the upper back and the wall. And have a bend in your knees if you wish. Or a soft bend, a deep bend or a soft bend. We're not keeping our knees rigid here. So it might be that you're quite high up with your head, or your head can be heading closer to the earth. Your hands here can be resting on the earth. I have the backs of my hands on the earth. Or you can take hold of your calves if you wish. Or you can take your hands behind your legs and take hold of opposite wrists or opposite elbows. So this is a forward fold, a caterpillar pose, Paschimottanasana, using the wall. We're going to be here for less time. This is quite a challenging variation. So we'll be here for 90 seconds.
3 more breaths here. And then if you have your hands behind your lower legs, holding wrists or opposite elbows, release. And then begin to walk your feet back from the wall. And then uncurl your spine, 1 vertebrae at a time, to come up to standing. As if you're unfurling your spine, as if a flower when it unfurls. And let's roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then slide them down and away 3 times. And then we're going to come onto the earth now. So we'll start, let's come onto our shins. Now remember, if you do not feel comfortable with your shins underneath, then you can always fold up a blanket, sit on a blanket. You can roll up a blanket and then place the sausage end of the blanket underneath the inside of your ankles so that your ankles are on a blanket and the feet are cushioned and padded here. You can always place a cushion underneath so that you're sitting on a cushion. So let's just show you all the variations so that you are comfortable here. There's a blanket rolled up at one end. Here's a cushion. So the inside of my ankles on the cushion or on the rolled up blanket. And I can always sit on a cushion. And if the fronts of your knees don't feel comfortable, you will always place a cushion underneath or a folded blanket underneath the front of your knees so that you have lots of padding here. So let's start off with the right hip up against the wall. If you're on the other side, that's fine, then we can always change around. What we're going to do is we're going to take angel wing here. So we're going to place this hand, right hand, on the wall behind us. So we might keep it at a very gentle opening. So having a bend in the elbow and the hands quite high up on the wall. So this is a very gentle pec opening on the right here. And your head can be either looking towards the wall or looking directly ahead. Or you can reach further behind on the wall and straighten out through that right arm so that your angel wing is more open. This you will feel in the front of your right shoulder. You'll feel it the top of your shoulder. So you'll be in different places here. The further away from the wall you are, the higher up the wall your hand with the bend in the elbow, the less intense. The closer to the wall you are with your arm reaching out, the more intense it will feel. So we'll be in different places yet again. So again, we're using the wall for our yin practice here. This is angel wings. It's a pec opener, shoulder opener. And again, remember, if your neck feels tight, you can gaze at the wall or you can look directly ahead. We'll be here for 2 minutes. If you lose sensation, get pins and needles, feels really uncomfortable, then come into a less intense variation. So bend into your elbow. Take your hand slightly higher. The advantage of using a wall in our practice. It enables us to feel supported. The resistance of the wall allows us to intensify a pose a little bit more so that the sensation is stronger. And the wall also offers us support and strength so that we can rest at the wall We can allow our body weight to fall into the wall or against the wall. We have, look, 1 more minute here. Remember, not only can you look at the wall, you can rest your head against the wall. We have 6 more breaths here with our right arm extended behind us, elbow either bent or straight, depending on the intensity we were looking for. I'm going to move slowly here. So slide your arm down the wall. And then let's do 1 big circle with the arm going back. And then 1 with the arm coming forward. And you might want to roll the right shoulder backwards and forwards to release it. So now we're going to turn around. We're going to do the same on the left side. So again, use your padding, your blankets, whatever you need. So come either very close to the wall or keep some distance between you and the wall. The closer to the wall you are, the more intense this pose will feel. So turn towards the wall first and place your hand behind you. So you might place your hand quite high up with the elbow bent. That's one variation. The other variation is to extend your arm and press the hand against the wall here. Your head can either be rested on the wall, can be away from the wall so you're gazing at the wall, or you can turn your head so that it's more aligned with your knees, gazing ahead. So you will be in different places here. Make sure to relax the right shoulder because you might hunch it up. I realized I was doing that. So release that right shoulder so it's relaxed. We're working on the left shoulder, the pecs on the left side, the angel wing pose. And again, we'll be here for 2 minutes. Be mindful of any sensations you have that cause pins and needles. That means that you're pinching your nerves. If you lose sensation, again, you're constricting flow. So lift your hand slightly, bend into your elbow. You might have your hand just much closer to your head. So just imagine that there's this arch like a clock, and your hand can be anywhere on that clock. You might find you have more space on one side compared to the other. We have 1 more minute here. Remember to ease off when you need to.
6 more breaths. And then after you've taken your 6th count, you can slide your left hand and arm down the wall, in towards your body, and then forward. And let's circle it all the way back one time, and then all the way forward. And then let's roll that left shoulder. And then you can roll both shoulders. And just for a moment, let's hug yourselves in. So take your hands to your shoulders and hug that in as a counter pose. You might want to go the other way. So taking the other arm on top. And let's release it. So we're going to come into dragon pose here. And we're going to use the wall for our dragon pose. So we'll come into the first version first. If you want to pad your knee, we'll step forward and we'll be on our, let's be on our right knee first. So pad your right knee if you want to. And then step forward with your left toe. So your left toes are right up against the wall. Now this right leg can be fairly straight, or you can move the right leg a little bit back so there's more of a diagonal on this right leg. You can also place a bolster or a large pillow for your right thigh to rest on. And your hands are going to be on the wall. So have your hands above your head on the wall. So your big toe is connected to the bottom of the wall. Your hands are on the wall. And remember, if you start losing sensation in your hands, because they're high above, bring your hands lower down so that your hands are parallel to your shoulders. So we're in a variation of high flying dragon. Again, we'll be here for 2 minutes. Make sure you pad the right knee with a blanket or a cushion. And if you're using a bolster or a large pillow, you can rest your right thigh against that. Or you may not have a bolster or pillow at all. And remember, if it becomes too much, so this extension on the front of the right hip or this sinking into the left hip comes too much, you can always come up a little bit so that you have a less of an angle on the right thigh. If you want, you can bring your head towards the wall. So that your elbows and your forearms are on the wall. Your palms might be together, one on top of the other. Another alternative might be to place a pillow against the wall, and so that you can use your eyebrow center and rest it directly on the walls by placing it on a pillow. The pillow won't fall because the weight of your head will keep it in place. And this might allow you to sink into dragon a little bit more deeply. We're here for another 6 breaths. On the 6th breath, slide your hands down the wall, come back onto the right knee so that your hips are aligned with your right knee. And then let's bring the left leg back. You might want to stretch out this right leg by tucking the toe. And we're going to be moving to the other side. So let's come onto our left knee again. Pad your left knee if you wish. And take your right toes up towards the wall. And then check the angle of this left thigh, whether you want it quite deep or whether you want it a little bit more vertical. Yogi's choice. So if you want to rest your head against the wall, you can always use a pillow on the wall and then have your hands together. You can interlace your hands or have them against the wall. And then you can drop deeper into this, into the right hip. So again, we'll be here for 2 minutes, making sure that you set yourself up and you find the comfortable variation you want first. One more minute here. Check how you're feeling. Remember, if you lose sensation in your shoulders or arms, get pins and needles because your hands are higher up on the wall than your head. Lower your hands. Six more breaths here. And then take your hips back over your left leg. Bring your right knee to the earth and then stretch out through your left leg if you wish. And I'm going to come into another variation. So this time we're going to have our feet towards the wall. And we're going to have our right knee on the earth. So come up quite close to the wall. And then place your toes on the wall behind you. So you can see my toes are on the wall behind me. My hands are on the earth just to help me position. And then I'm going to get into an angle that I want to do by sliding my left foot forward. So I can be either high here, high dragon here, or I can have my hands on the earth, or I can have my hands on a block, on blocks, or a bolster. So play around here. Now, the further your sit bones are away from the wall, the less acute the angle. The closer you are to the wall,
the more intense the angle. So find the angle that you want to find here. And remember, your toes might be fairly low down. You might be quite far away from the wall. So I've got a light switch where I've got the light electrical socket there where I've got my feet. So this is low flying dragon. And we have our foot bed. So you remember often in Hatha yoga, we do this pose. And we try and reach back and take hold of our foot. Well, this just enables us to experience this sensation. If you find you're leaning heavily into your bolster, you can always turn your palms up or create little fists. And that will just stop you dropping your weight into your bolster a little bit. We're not going to be here long because this is an intense pose. So just here for a minute. And you should feel the sensation down the front of your right thigh here. Let's have 6 more breaths here. And then curl your toes and bring your support yourself. And then carefully, so I'm going to slide my knee forward and then take my hips back. And then I can come away from the wall. And it feels much more manageable and safer to come out away from the wall on that side. So then let's be on our knees, sway our hips from left to right. Let's turn to look to the left foot. Turn to look to the right foot. And now we're going to do the same on the left side. Excuse me. Right, so left knee padded if you want to pad your left knee. And then again, find a distance you want away from the wall. Have your hands on the floor first. And you might have your right knee on the floor first as well. And then find the wall with your toes. And then you might step forward with your right foot. This is the easiest way that I find I can get into this pose. And again, here, hands can be on the earth. On bolsters, you can even have them on your knees. Yogi's choice. And then that angle in that left thigh is up to you. So coming to your variation of low flying dragon with your toes on the wall behind you. And take your time to get here. Move slowly as you need. Remember, if you create little fists and have them on your bolster or large pillow, it stops you from dropping your weight into your wrists. Again, we're not here for very long. We're here for about a minute. So as your practice develops, the time that you're in a pose, you can begin to extend it. One more full breath here. And remember, we're going to shift our hips back, hands on the floor, come onto our right knee, and then slide that left foot away from the wall. We're on both knees here. Let's sway our hips from left to right. Let's do circles with our hips one way, then the other way. Now we're going to come into Sphinx variation. And we're going to use the wall. So we're going to have our feet against the wall again. I'm going to move my bolster out of the way. So remember, if you want to have padding, a good place to have padding in Sphinx is underneath the hips and pelvis. So again, you need to find your distance from the wall. So take your feet right up against the wall and then come down onto the earth. And then you might need to shuffle back towards the wall. So I'm shuffling quite a lot, so I'm going to slide my blanket back so it's underneath my hips and pelvis. And you can see that my toes are on the wall. My knees are bent. So depending on how close to the wall you are, so if you want to have your legs a little bit more vertical, then you need to shuffle closer to the wall. If you want to have more of a diagonal in your lower legs, then you'll be shuffling away from the wall. Check how you're feeling here. So remember, if in Sphinx, you begin to get quite tired, this feels really challenging for you, especially for your lower back, take your elbows out and then place your eyebrows center on the backs of your hands so that you're in crocodile variation. So crocodile variation reduces the intensity of the lower back bend. You're on your forearms in this variation of Sphinx rather than in crocodile, then you'll have a stronger experience in your lower back. So find the variation you want to be in, either crocodile or Sphinx. Crocodile is elbows out, backs of hand on each other, eyebrow center resting on the back of your hand. Sphinx is with your forearms parallel, fingers spread wide. And if you want vertical, closer to the wall. Relax your shoulders away from your ears in Sphinx. We'll be here for 3 minutes. And remember, you can always come down in crocodile at any point. And if you're in crocodile and you want to go into Sphinx again, you can rise up in Sphinx at any point. So you'll notice that today's yin at the wall was a little more challenging than the last session of yin at the wall. So there's different ways of using the wall. You can use the wall more of a restorative prop that supports you, or more of a resistance prop that challenges you. Not to fear, we will come into a more restorative and restful variations in a moment. We're here for another 6 breaths. So if you're in Sphinx, let's come down into crocodile. And then shake your hips from left to right. And this is where you'll need to do a bit of graceful gliding. So you might need to just slide up your mat so that you can release your feet from the wall. And we're going to stay here face down. And let's take your arms alongside your body, palms face up. You can rest on your left ear or your right ear or place a blanket underneath your eyebrow center. Feel free to chat. You can rest on one ear and then the other ear. Allow the weight of your body to sink into the earth here. Your arms are alongside your body, palms face up. Three more breaths here. And then let's come onto our elbows. Let's come back into child's pose. So you can have wide-legged child's pose with big toes touching, or you can have your knees together. Arms can be alongside your body or outstretched in front of you. Find your variation of child's pose. I'm having my arms alongside me because I was in Sphinx. And then that sometimes crunches up around the shoulders and the neck. And having your arms alongside you just creates some space. And allow your rest and digestive system to kick in now. The parasympathetic system that helps you to slow down, to relax, to sleep. Before we move into our final pose, we're going to move into a twist. So let's come onto the right hip with your feet right up against the wall. And you can have your head directly on the earth, or you can have a pillow underneath your head. So make sure your feet, especially the balls of your feet, are on the wall, or the whole of your feet here. Now, I'm quite close to the wall here, but what we want to do is open across the left side of our body. So you might need to turn yourself around. The knees are to the right, and then you open your arm over to the left side. Now I'm facing you so you can see me. And then you might shuffle your right shoulder a little bit more so you create this twist at the torso. The left arm is either extended away from you or perhaps it's overhead. You can place your right hand on your left leg and make sure that your feet at some point are connected with the wall. So my toes and the ball of my feet are connected with the wall. We'll be here for 2 minutes. And close your eyes. Cover yourself with a blanket, whatever you need. And remember, if you have your left arm overhead and it begins to get pins and needles, then bring your arm so that it's below your head.
Allow yourself to soften here. Allow your eyes to close and feel heavy. Your jaw soft. Maybe your lips are slightly open. Three more breaths here. And then with the minimum of disruption to your nervous system, we're going to roll through center and then roll onto our left hip. Drop our knees left again so that our feet are connected to the wall. So we're on our left hip, our feet, especially the toes and the balls of the feet, are connected with the wall. The left hand can go to the outside of the right leg, the right knee. Drop your right shoulder towards the earth and open out through your right arm. So your right arm is either extended away from you or overhead. Reclined twist here. Again, we'll be here for 2 minutes on this side. My digestive system is definitely responding to this twist. And soften through every part of your body, your face, your shoulders, your arms and hands, your legs, ankles and feet. And remember, if you begin to get pins and needles, you can always lower your hand. Three more breaths here. And then begin to take your knees, so roll onto your back, bend into your knees, and let's hug those knees in towards the heart and gently roll from left to right on the lower back. And now we're going to move into legs up the wall, which is a very favorite pose. So let's come right up against the wall so that you have one hip against the wall. And remember, you can have your pillow here. And then using your hand against the wall, you can turn your body so that your legs come up against the wall. You can have your cushion underneath your head. Another thing that's really lovely is to place something that's a little bit heavy on your feet. So
try and do this without dropping the bolster. So you can place something heavy on your feet, like a large pillow. So my bolster is it's got buckwheat in it. So if you have something with buckwheat, like, or say you have a hot water bottle or something like that, with some warm water on it, you can always place it on your feet here. And this always feels delicious. If you don't have that available today, make sure you have some socks on. You can cover your feet with a blanket. Some folded towels will also work quite well. Some warm folded towels. So if you place some towels on the radiator first so that they're nice and warm, and then you can fold them up and place them on your feet. And we'll be here for the rest of the practice until we come into Shavasana. So close your eyes. We'll be here for at least 2 minutes. Allow yourself to be supported by the earth, by the wall. Allow your upper body to melt into the earth. The points of connection between your legs, particularly the heels of your feet against the wall, feels reassuring, restful. Soften your face, the brow, the cheeks, the jaw, the lips. We're here for 6 more breaths. Signaling to your body that you're about to come out of legs up the wall and into Shavasana. So if you have something on your feet, bend into your knees. Bring your knees in towards you until you can take off whatever's on your feet. Hug everything into your heart space. Maybe a little roll from side to side. Now we're going to move directly into Shavasana. So spiraling yourself round. If you have a bolster, you can always place the bolster underneath your knees. If you have a blanket, make sure to cover yourself. Sorry, baby. You can have your head on a cushion or directly on the earth, chin slightly tucked.
Arms away from your body, feet falling away from each other. And you'll stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. Allow yourself to rest here, to digest. If you hear your stomach gurgling like mine is, that's the digest part of this practice. I will leave you here to stay in your stillness, your quiet. And remember, when you're ready to rise, always hug your knees in first and roll over to one side and close your practice by chanting Om Shanti softly. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavad, yogis.